Okay, good evening, all of you. So today is our first class. It's a kind of introduction of AWS Solution Architect Associate, and myself, Bhupender Rajput, your AWS trainer. So I'm AWS and Azure certified and having experience of more than 10 years in the field of training. I hope my voice is audible to all of you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, perfect. So the latest code is okay. Let me explain few things regarding this training first. That is, the code is AWS SAC002. So we will do this training. Okay, so this is the official code of AWS Solution Architect Associate level training. After this associate level, you can go for professional, and after professional, you can go for expert level training, right? So in this training, we will cover lots of things, lots of stuff related to AWS. I hope you people have any have little bit idea about the cloud, AWS cloud and Microsoft, different clouds. As you know that AWS is Amazon Web Services. Okay, if you do not know, no need to worry. I will discuss each and everything from the basics. Okay, so Amazon Web Services, similarly we have different cloud as well. So once you will cover this training, then you can even learn Microsoft Azure as well. This is a different cloud created by Microsoft, and this AWS is created by Amazon, right? So in this training we will cover lots of stuff, so that I will discuss one by one. So just a minute. Yeah, so okay. So basically in this training program, as you know that this training program is almost more than 30 hours, okay, more than 30 hours of training content, and in which 70% is our lab part plus 30% is our theory part. Okay, the major topics which we have to cover is EC2 instances, and before that we have to learn fundamental of Linux as well, because Linux is also required. So we will discuss Linux fundamentals as well, along with the basics of cloud computing that I also discuss with you. Okay, cloud computing. So first of all, we will discuss Linux plus cloud computing, then we'll touch EC2 instances with lots of lab. Then the second part is auto scaling, and third part is load balancer. Then we will cover storage. In storage, we have two parts. One is S3 and another one is EBS. So we will cover both the storage. Then we'll cover databases. In databases, again, we'll cover SQL as well as NoSQL. Both type of databases we will cover. Then we will cover security. And inside security, we will cover IAM. Then we'll cover CloudFront, Route 53, SNS, SQS. So these are the major topics which we have to cover in this training program, right? I will show you in clear format as well. Just a minute. I will show you in this website. This is a NetMinion official website. So if you go to this website, even here you will get the entire idea about our course content. That is 28 hours, more than 28 hours of course content. And this is the course content. First, basics of virtualization is, again, it is very important. So we will discuss what is virtualization, what is hypervisor, that kind of things. In the networking, we will cover IP address. Of course, IP version 4 we will cover, because in AWS we'll do generally we'll do IP version 4, right? All the things on IP version 4. Then basic of servers and server OSs. Then pillars of cloud computing will cover fundamentals. It's like a cloud computing, like a private cloud, public cloud, services, different kind of services like infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. And these are the complete labs which we have to cover. This is not theory, this is labs. So see, this much of lab we will do. See, these are the labs. Okay, so you can imagine more than 25 to 30 labs will do in this training program, and this is the most extensive training program which we will cover, right? So we will do lots of lab related to AMI, snapshots, terminations, and Windows Server as well as Linux servers. Then VPC, again VPC I missed in that training module. So VPC we will cover. In VPC we have lots of modules, and even from the exam point of view, all these topics are very much important. If you will cover all these topics, then definitely you can clear your exam very easily. So no need to worry about the exam, because exam is very easy, and at the end we will discuss lots of questions as well. I will share each and everything with you regarding the dumps and what kind of questions would come in exam, and practical and related to interview as well. We will discuss lots of topics, what kind of questions generally they put in the interview, right? So that thing we also we will discuss. Okay, so you can check the module. So crux of virtualization, key concepts of virtualization, basics of networking. So today we will discuss the basics of networking, because the basics are very important. Even I hope you people already knew IPv4 and OSI model, TCP/IP, subnetting. These kind of things is clear to you or not? Just respond me in the chat box. Okay, so IPv4 is clear to you or not, all of you? Or you would like to should I discuss IPv4 as well? Yeah, it's clear. Perfect. So no need to discuss this thing. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So IPv4 is already clear to you. So okay, just skip this part, and then virtualization is clear to you, or should I discuss? Because these are the basics. If someone feels that I do not know what is virtualization, then we can discuss. But if it's not clear to you, as Mohammad Reza said that it's not clear, so of course we will discuss this kind of thing. So let's start with virtualization. Okay, so no need to worry. So virtualization, right? So basically, what do you understand by virtualization? Actually, it is a kind of, you can say that, sharing of just a minute. Yeah, so where we were, okay, virtualization. So basically virtualization is what? Virtualization is, you can say that you are converting your physical resources into a virtual one, right? So basically we are converting, like this classroom is a virtual classroom. This is not a physical classroom, right? In a physical classroom, generally you in the past, when you went to your universities or colleges, at that time you attended your classes in the physical mode, that you can say that offline. And this is an online classroom. Online classroom is just like a virtual classroom. So virtual classroom, what does it mean? Virtual means the result would be the same, just like your results in the past. Results would be the same, but the process is different. Process is different. You can say that in this virtual classroom, even I'm teaching you, I'm using my whiteboard, I'm using my pen, you are attending the class, I'm delivering the lecture, but there is no physical classroom present. It means process is different, but the result is same. I'm taking the class. Even in the physical mode, I was taking the class, and right now I am also taking the class. So results would be the same. So virtualization means you are converting your physical resources. You are converting your physical resources into virtual resources. If still this is confusing, this term is confusing, like what is virtual? So just imagine, okay, I'm giving you one more example of this virtualization. For example, right now, you have two options inside your mobile phone. Suppose this is your smartphone. In this smartphone, you can put your micro SD card of 32 GB. And that micro SD card is actually a physical device. Actually a physical device. Okay, which gives you 32 GB of storage. On the other side, you have a Google Drive. And inside Google Drive, 15 GB of storage is free, right? So 15 GB of storage is free to you, provided by Google, right? So this 15 GB is free. See, if you are putting your photographs inside this micro SD card, even the same photographs you can put inside this Google Drive as well. Is there any difference in that photographs? No, there is no difference. Even you can download that photographs from Google Drive. Even you can see those photographs from the Google Drive whenever you want. You can do same things. Even if your photographs are inside micro SD card or in the Google Drive, it doesn't matter. Okay, so both are the same things because you are getting your data as and when required. But the process is different. Here you are using the physical device, and here you are using cloud. Because this is Google Drive. Google Drive is not a memory card or a kind of storage inside your smartphone. It's something that is on cloud. So this is the thing which we would like to discuss, that virtualization is actually giving you that kind of capability that you can do all the things, but the server, the storage is not present at your premises or in your office. The resources is somewhere else. Okay, even you can virtualize your resources inside your office. Suppose if you have a server and that server would like to, if you would like to distribute that server, for example, your server capacity is huge. You have 32 cores and you have 128 GB of RAM. And that RAM is not at all required for your, for example, web server. So what you can do, you can virtualize this server and make two virtual servers. This is one VM, this is another virtual machine, and distribute your 64 GB RAM to this virtual machine and 64 GB RAM to this virtual machine. Now this VM works as a web server, and the another VM is free. Now you can use this VM in any way, okay, or for future purpose you can reserve this VM. So this is the concept of virtualization. So basically the leader in the field of virtualization is VMware. Okay, and we have another leaders in this market like Microsoft as well as Citrix. And the major component in virtualization is hypervisor. Always remember, hypervisor is that kind of software or firmware. It is a software, or it might be sometime firmware as well, which actually virtualizes your hardware. For example, this is my machine, this is my laptop. On this laptop, there is a operating system like Windows in my laptop, Windows 10. On top of that, I can install VMware Workstation. And inside this VMware Workstation, I can create multiple virtual machines. So actually this VMware Workstation is what? This is my hypervisor, which actually virtualizes my resources. So hypervisor is that component which actually virtualizes your resources. Is it fine? Or is there any doubt? This thing is clear to you? Or is there any doubt? If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Yeah, type 1 and type 2. See, this is type 2. This is type 2. Okay, let me explain type 1 and type 2 as well. Just a minute. So we have two type of hypervisors. One is type 1 hypervisor and one is type 2 hypervisor. For example, in type 1 hypervisor, suppose this is my hardware. On the top of that hardware, we have a hypervisor installed. No operating system. We directly install our hypervisor on the hardware. That is known as bare metal hypervisor. So type 1 means on the top of this hardware, you directly install your hypervisor and then create your virtual machines. In type 2 hypervisor, basically this is your hardware. On the top of this hardware, there is an operating system. It might be Windows, it might be Linux, anything. It could be anything, right? And on the top of this, there is a hypervisor. So in this case, this is type 2. If hypervisor runs on operating system, on the top of the operating system, then that is type 2. And if the hypervisor directly runs on the hardware, then that is type 1. And most of the industries prefer this one. So industry prefer type 1. Type 2 is your VMware workstation. Example. So VMware workstation or Oracle VirtualBox is a kind of type 2 hypervisor, which actually runs on your laptop as a software. And this hypervisor example is ESXi, that is VMware hypervisor. So in organizations, in companies, we do prefer this kind of hypervisor, that is type 1 hypervisor. So the basic difference is that in type 2, your hypervisor runs on the top of the operating system. And in type 1 hypervisor, your hypervisor runs directly on the hardware. So this is the basic difference. Now this thing is clear to you? Okay, perfect. And what is VM? VM means my virtual machine. Okay, so this is my virtual machine. Is it clear? Okay, perfect. Now we'll start from this private cloud, public cloud, and basically cloud services. And before that, you should know the layers as well. So that is also required. So in the first two class, we will discuss the basics only related to the networking, related to the virtualization, and related to this networking, right? So basically the layer model should be clear to you, and we always refer OSI model. In OSI, we have 7 layers, as you know. So always remember these 7 layers: physical, then data link, then network, then transport, then session, then presentation, and then application. So we have 7 layers. So always remember these 7 layers. Yeah, someone is speaking. Yeah, all people seems to need data processing, a shortcut to remember names. Even if you understand Hindi and Urdu, then you can speak that आज फिर से तुमने तुमने dal pakai, right? Even you can learn in this way as well in your own language. Yes. Okay. So basically why we are discussing this thing, because just a minute. IP address works on network layer, right? IP address works on this layer. Our load balancer works on this layer, transport layer. And our firewalls and multiple, you can say firewalls and other things actually runs on application layer. So because when we do, or will do this AWS course, then lots of time, generally they refer switch as a layer 2 device, okay, and router as a layer 3 device. So always remember, router is a layer 3 device, layer 3 means network layer, and switch is a layer 2 device, means data link layer. Physical layer is layer 1, data link layer is layer 2, network layer is layer 3. Yeah, someone is speaking. Okay, who is asking? Rahman. Okay, Rahman is asking about the changes of the packets. Okay, just a minute, I will explain. Suppose this is my OSI model and we have 7 layers. This is physical, this is data link, this is network, this is transport, this is session, presentation, and application. So always remember, at your application, it's a complete message. Then at present layer is again a message. At session layer, again, it's a message. At transport layer, it actually converts into what? That is segmentation, segment. Then that segment is converted into packet at network layer because you added IP address here. In segment, you add port numbers. And here your message is, there is no change in these 3 layers, right? So at transport layer, it converted into segment because you add port numbers. At network layer, this is converted into packet because you add sender and receiver IP address. At data link layer, it converts into what you said, a frame, because you add extra bits for security, right? CRC, basically CRC we add. And at physical layer, it converts into bits, and that bits actually transfer in the form of 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, this form to the other side. And then again, bits to frame, frame to packet, packet to segment, and segment converted into message at the receiver side. So this is the flow. This is the flow from application to physical and then physical to application. In this way, your message is transferring from one place to another place. Is it clear to you? Message is actually a data. Yeah. Data, data means what? What do you want to say? Data, Nada?
Okay, I just said that in layer 7 and 6 and 5 it was data, and layer 4 segment, layer 3 packet, layer 2 frame, and layer 1 bits.
Yeah. I already discussed the same thing, right?
Yes, sir.
You would like to add something?
That's fine.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. So in this way, our actually message is moving from one place to another place. Okay. And always remember that data link layer, your switch works. And at network layer, your router works. Okay. Always remember. So this is important, switch and router. Okay, so we will not go in details of routing protocols. That is not required at all. Even programming is not required. If you have this doubt that for to learn AWS programming is required, or we should have a good knowledge of Linux or Python or these kind of things, so no need to worry, because in solution architect associate level there is no need of such kind of expertise, no need of programming a language, because we have certain commands, we have a few commands, but that is very easy and anyone can learn those commands. So if you have that kind of fear in your mind that you cannot learn AWS because there are lots of things, might be possible that few people are not from technical background, you are from BCom or BA or some other courses, okay, you are graduate people. So no need to worry, because in AWS we have a certain you can say course content that is designed in such a manner that everyone can learn and can build his career in AWS. Okay, so no need to worry, we will discuss each and everything in detail, and we'll do lots of labs. If you do not if you haven't seen the lab part, so I will show you the lab as well, how it looks. Just a minute. So I will show you the lab part as well. I hope my screen is visible to you. AWS, just search AWS free tier account. Even you can create your AWS account very easily. Just search AWS free tier account, and then here you will get this option that AWS free tier, create a free account. Just click on this option, create a free account. And here you have to enter your email address and create one password. Account name, you can give any name, even you can give your name, and then click on continue. Once you click on continue, it again asks you a few questions, just like your address, your date of birth, these kind of things. And once you complete all this part, then it asks you for your PAN card number as well as your credit card or debit card number. Once you enter those details, your account will be activated within 24 hours. So you can easily create your account. It is very much easy. Just follow these steps, just fill all the details, and your account will be active. And this is free for next 1 year. So 1 year is enough, fair enough. So you can practice lots of lab till upcoming 1 year, right? So it's enough. So in this way you can create your account. So do you have a AWS account, or you would like to create uh, you have to in future you are supposed to create, or you people have your AWS account? Not yet. So you can create in this way. Okay, you can create in this way. As I told you, you can just sign up for AWS, just fill all the details, and your account will be active. Once your account is active, then just click on the same website, and this time click on this option, my account, and go to this option, AWS Management Console. Just click on this. Now you can log in as a root user. Just enter this CAPTCHA, AY2, and I think this is Y or V. I don't know, this is V4. Let's try. No, it's not correct. Okay, it's confusing. AE8 XPM. Okay, so this is my AWS Management Console. We'll do all the labs on this Management Console. It's very easy. So right now it looks like something confusing for you if you are seeing this thing first time, but trust me, this is very easy, and you love this AWS once you have completed your training, right? So in this we have lots of regions, and right now I'm in Mumbai region, and I can do lots of things. There are lots of services. Even see, these are the services you can do each and every. You can practice any service, right? So if you would like to go to S3, you just click on this, and this is my storage. So we'll do one by one, all each and everything. No need to worry. But right now, this is my service. These are the services. You can go. Okay. And this is a global service. So just going back, EC2. And here we have multiple servers in the dashboard. If you would like to create Linux server, you want to create some other server even as well. Linux server is present, Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8 is present, SUSE is present, Ubuntu server is present, Microsoft Windows Server 2019, 2018, even not 18, 16 and 4. So lots of servers are present. Even you can take any server and just do whatever you want. If you would like to create your website, you would like to create your database server, you can do anything on this cloud. So this is the AWS management console, and we'll do all the labs on this console. So before we start this training sessions officially, you should have your AWS account, your active AWS account. Okay, and it's very easy to create, as I show you that just fill your details and your account will be active. And this is a free tier account, so no need to worry. They actually took your credit card details, but it doesn't mean that they deduct your money. They will never deduct your money, right? So yeah, we can do lots of labs. If you would like, if you want to see the labs how we can do, I will show you the lab. For example, I am taking Windows Server 2019, and this is a T2 micro because this is free, so I'm taking this one. And go to next security group. In this security group, I am taking RDP, as well as take just a minute. HTTPS, as well as HTTP, and just anywhere, and review and launch. Take one key pair, name it as web server, and download key pair and launch instance. Name it as web server. It will take some time to boot. So once this instance state is running, then I will show you how to create a web server on these instances. So instances means a virtual machine. Instances in AWS, we are using this term instance, and in Microsoft, we are using virtual machine. Both are the same things. Whether you are using the term instance or you use virtual machine, both are the same things. So instance is running now, but its status check is not clear. So once this is initialized and it will become 2 by 2, then I will show you how to do this lab. See, Rahman, they deduct $1, but definitely they will revert it back. They will refund you $1 within 24 hours. So no need to worry about that $1. So once this status check is 2 by 2, then I will show you. Now it's ready. So just copy its public IP, click on connect. Go to download. So this is my Windows Server 2019. So inside this server, you can do lots of things. I will show you what you can do. Just click on this server manager. It takes some time. Okay, fine. Right now, I'm doing this lab in a fast manner, but um, because I'm just showing you the demo. I'm not actually taking this, explaining this lab. I will explain each and every step as well when we will do this lab. Right now I'm just showing you this lab. Okay, so don't think that I'm just doing this lab so fast. So how you can understand? I'm just showing you the demo how this actually works. Okay, when we will do the lab. In the training sessions, then I will explain each and every step in detail. So no need to worry about that. So right now I'm just showing you the demo. I think it's done. So minimize this. Hello guys, myself Bhupender Rajput. Now do one thing guys, I'm just giving you this IP address. copy this. Just search this IP address in your Google Chrome browser or in your Microsoft Edge and tell me what you are getting. Just type this IP address in your Google Chrome and search and tell me what you are getting. Okay, I think I'm just sending to one person only. Yeah, IP address is in your chat box. Just check and tell me what you are getting. Yeah, this is a public IP. So just copy this IP address in Google Chrome in your mobile or in your laptop and search this IP address and tell me what you are getting. Wait, I will show you. If I'm pasting this IP address here and search, I'm getting this page. Hello guys, myself Bhupinder Rajput. Even you can check. So within seconds, I'm creating my web server, my web page. So you can check. Just search this IP address inside your Google Chrome or any browser and tell me what you are getting. So in this way, you can create your web servers. I hope now you understood the value of cloud and how it actually works. It's very easy. The steps are very easy. Once you are familiar with these steps, you can do these kind of things very easily. Okay, within minutes. Okay, so this is all about